Good morning. And how are you all doing this morning? Going to give a few people a chance to join. So welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Sequisa Gibbons. And I do this every Wednesday, Sequisa the MP, where I try to provide you with some information to kind of help you get through the week for your business and for your health. I try to combine the two. So if you've never been here before, thank you for coming. I appreciate your coming to see me. Good morning, Miss Bailey. How are you doing this morning? And for those of you, my familiars, I love seeing those same names pop up in my feed. So I thank you for coming and welcome back.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back.
As you saw in the description today, we're going to be talking about diabetes. Before we get into that, I want to kind of switch things up. Normally, I start with a health tip and then I go into some business information. But this week, we're going to do it a little different. I'm going to give you a business tip and then we're going to go into the health information. So the main thing with people who are going into business is finding time or feeling overwhelmed with all the tasks that comes with running a business. And for the most part, most of us have a job and then we do our business, in the afternoon after. So it gets kind of overwhelming with things you have to do. So my business tip for you this week is this planner. It really helps keep you on track. And I'm going to move forward to August because July have patients' names in it. And because of HIPAA, I can't show you that. So this gives you like a month, and it kind of helps you plan. And then the best part is the day. And you want to use this to write down 3 or 4 tasks that you need to get done and work on those 3. And don't consider it a major setback if you don't get all 3 down because some things happen. But the wonderful thing is you always have the next day and you can kind of carry it over. Is on mine, researching the DOT exam. That's the physical that the truck drivers have to take. Has been like every week, every day. I haven't gotten to it yet, but it's still on my list. So that is the business tip that I want to give you. I'm glad you're doing well. And how's your family doing? How's everybody's family doing this morning? I have a patient that every time I ask her, she'd always say the same thing: blessed and highly favored. And that's how I'm feeling this morning, blessed and highly favored. I'm glad to be here on this Wednesday. My shirt came in. I was a little nervous because I ordered it late and it came. Busy making my ancestors proud. And before we get into the diabetes portion, I wanted to shout out my shirt from Urban Intelligence. I got this on Facebook, actually. Educate, empower, and engage. I'm trying to read upside down. So forgive me for that. And if you notice my lashes, yes. If you're close to the Duncanville area, 227 South Cedar Ridge Drive in Duncanville, Lavishing Lashes. This is also a Black-owned business. And the best thing about this is she has a school right beside it, Lavishing Lashes Academy. And that's where I actually went and got my lashes done because the students are getting ready to graduate and they're having a special this week. It ends on Friday where you get a full set of either the classic, the hybrids, or the volume, which can be really expensive. You can get any of those for $50 from the students. And the students are really good. They're getting ready to graduate, like I said before. And she has a spot next door, but she's constantly in and out, and she has to approve the lashes before you pay for it. And I thought that was really awesome. She came over and made sure that I was satisfied before. A lot of times when you pay for something, what you get is what you get, and you pay for it and go. But she came over several times and made sure she was doing it correctly, but she let me look at it and make sure it was going in the way that I wanted to, and that I wanted to keep going with that student. So I really wanted to give them a shout out this morning. That's her school. That's her spa, and then her school. If you know someone who's looking to get licensed for lashes, and the school is set up like very professional. She's got a classroom in the back, and then she's got all these tables for all of the students. I would really recommend someone that was looking to get licensed to look into that academy. So how's everyone's day going so far? I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were going through a lot as far as their job and their health and everything. And she kept saying something that resonated with me, that with everything I'm going through, I'm just blessed that I have these problems. And it didn't, at first I was just like, what do you mean you're blessed to have these problems? And she said it again, with everything that I'm going through, I'm just blessed to have these problems. And I guess maybe, because y'all know I wear my emotions on my face, so I guess I look confused, because she explained to me that regardless of the problems that she has, there is someone out there that would kill to have the problems that she has. There is someone out there that's doing worse than she is. Someone out there that's looking up to her. And so when she goes through something, she just thanks God that he's blessed her with everything that she does have. And that kind of made me stop and think for a minute. A lot of times we get so bogged down with the things that we don't have and the things that are not going right in our lives that we forget to thank God for everything that he has given us and everything that we do have to be grateful for. So this morning, before I get started, I just wanted to remind everyone to take some time and thank God for everything that you do have, because I guarantee you, no matter what problems you have or whatever you're going through, there is someone out there that would trade places with you. So be grateful for that.
That blessed me.
Mug. And that is the moringa tea that we discussed last time, that has all of the health benefits, and one of them is lowering your blood sugar, which is really, really important. And the reason why I want to talk about blood sugar today is because diabetes is a disease that is unfortunately wreaking havoc on the African American community. We don't understand it. We don't know it. Therefore, we have all of these complications later on. Years ago, I used to work as a dialysis nurse, and it was always surprising to me when the patients would come in for dialysis and were shocked when I informed them, or when we talked about the fact that the reason why they're on dialysis is because they did not take care or did not manage their diabetes. How you can have something for 15, 20 years and not manage it and not know the complications of it is alarming to me. Good morning, Miss Walton. How are you doing today? So I wanted to take some time and kind of educate you guys the way that I educate my patients, to know the knowledge is what you need. You need to know what diabetes looks like, what diabetes does to you. So when you decide to eat that piece of cake, or when you decide to eat that piece of pie, you know the complications that are waiting for you down the line if you don't take your medicine, if you don't exercise, and you don't do the things that you're supposed to do. So first off, let's talk about diabetes. Diabetes is a chronic disease that affects our pancreas, and it kind of affects the way that the food comes in, and food is broken down and turned into energy. And what happens is it releases glucose, or what we call sugar, and our bodies is not able to handle or lower, keep the sugar at a level that is best for our bodies. I'm trying to make sure that I don't use a lot of medical terms so everyone can understand what I'm saying. So that's kind of where I'm getting lost. But the thing about it is our bodies are made to last. Like, what happens is when things are not ideal in our bodies, it finds a way to still work. So what happens is when your blood sugar is high, you don't feel bad. So when the doctor say, oh, you have diabetes and you need to take this medication, a lot of people don't do it because they don't feel bad. And what they don't understand is the havoc that it is causing on the inside of your bodies. Okay. So let's talk about how diabetes is diagnosed. So if you were to check your blood sugar first thing in the morning before you eat, that's what we call fasting. If you check your blood sugar first thing in the morning, if you're not diabetic, it should be below 100. If you are diabetic, it should be anywhere between 80 to 120. 130 with no food or drink in your body is too high. So that's the numbers for first thing when you wake up in the morning. Now later in the day, after you've eaten, your blood sugar can get a little higher, but you never want it to get above 180. A blood sugar above 180 is not good. A blood sugar above 220 is destroying your kidneys. So I'll repeat that to you again. First thing in the morning, you want your blood sugar to be below 120. Later in the day when you eat, you need it to be below 180. Anything above 200 is bad. Anything above 220 is detrimental to your kidneys. Good morning, Miss Odom. How are you? So when you go to the doctor, especially if you see something above 200, you need to automatically go to your PCP. Let them know that you did a blood sugar test and it was above 200. That's where you start. And what they should do is they should order some labs. And the labs that they're looking for mainly is your A1C. Your A1C is kind of like that 3-month average of your blood sugar. Now, I remember my father's diabetic. And what he used to do is before he would go into the doctor, he would eat well, he would exercise to make sure that his numbers were great those few days before he went to the doctor. Well, the A1C makes it where you cannot cheat. And this is checked every 3 to 6 months depending on how good your numbers are. You want your number to be below 7 if you're diabetic. If you're not diabetic, you want it to be below 6. Now, anything in the 5s, like 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, you're considered pre-diabetic. Why is this important to get into the doctor to catch it at the pre-stage? Because we can give you some medication that can keep you from becoming a diabetic. We can give you some medication that can keep you from having the complications that comes with being a diabetic. Okay, so how is diabetes treated? It's treated the same as most diseases with diet, exercise, and medication. Depending on your A1C will depend on how aggressively you need to treat your diabetes. If your A1C is 5 to 6, means you're pre. Normally, depending on the doctor, they will tell you to exercise and eat better. For me, being the fact that I have studied and I take care of Black patients, majority of the time, I would go ahead and start you on metformin because of the fact that I want to go ahead and try to protect those kidneys, and I want to go ahead and protect the organs that diabetes affects, which we'll talk about in a minute. But if you are above 9, then you need to be on insulin. And why is that? Is because the pancreas, which produces the insulin, is affected with diabetes. And sometimes if you get the insulin started soon enough, then the pancreas can reverse itself and start producing its own insulin. But if you wait till later, then sometimes that property of producing insulin is completely gone. So when you have to go on insulin, you will be on insulin for the rest of your life. So I know the biggest issue that I have with patients when they have diabetes is nobody wants to take insulin. And I do understand that because it is a shot, it's uncomfortable, but it's needed. And this is why. So what diabetes does to your body is, you know how blood goes through your vessels, your arteries, and your veins. When your blood sugar is high, it makes it sticky. It makes it real sticky. So it makes it hard to get through those vessels. And like I said, the body was designed to last, so it can change and make, modifications in order to still be okay in the moment. The problem with that is those vessels stretch so that sticky blood can get through it. That works for you now, but it wreaks havoc on your organs. And the main organs that sticky blood affects are your eyes, your heart, and your kidneys. Now, what happens in your eyes is that high sugar doesn't work well with those vessels, and those vessels burst, and that leads to blindness, basically, over time. And that's why it's important, if you are diabetic or if you have a family member that's diabetic, they need to go to the ophthalmologist and get a dilated eye exam every year so the doctor can dilate those vessels and see what's going on with your vision. The other thing that sticky blood does is that it causes havoc in the vessels of your heart. Most people with diabetes die of heart attack. because they've done so much damage to their heart with that sticky blood that they end up dying of a heart attack. Another thing that sticky blood does is it destroys your kidneys. And the kidneys is the most resilient organ in your body. You would not think that, but it is. Like 90% of your kidney function has to be gone before you even go on dialysis. Therefore, you have done years of blood sugars above 220. And what happens is a lot of people don't realize that their blood sugars are high, but their bodies do. So their bodies are telling you, oh, you're thirsty, so you drink a lot of water and you end up going to the bathroom 50 times. And what's happening is your body is trying to get you to pee off that extra sugar, which is what you need to survive, but it's not good for your kidneys, because your kidneys is just a giant filter. So cheesecloth, you know, it has those little, you know, you can strain stuff with it. That's what your kidneys is like. So when the sugar and the protein is being peed off through the kidneys, which it's not supposed to go through, it's pushed through that filter. And what happens is that filter now has these big holes in it that was there to catch things that you needed. Now everything is getting through it, so their kidneys are not filtering as they should. So now you have to go to the doctor, and then you end up in kidney failure. You have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and then stage 4, you're on dialysis. So the importance of diabetes is it's not just sugar. And I think a lot of people don't understand, because a lot of times when you go to the doctor tells you, okay, you have diabetes, they put you on this medication, and they don't do the education. And that is, you know, where I come in as a nurse practitioner, trying to educate and letting you know what's really going on with your body. Another big misconception about diabetes is it's sugar. Okay, well, I have to avoid all the sweets. It's not just sugar, it's also carbs. And what I try to tell people, because I'm not a dietitian, so as far as the carb counting and all that stuff, I'm not an expert at that. I normally turn that over to the dietitian. But what I tell them is white foods are bad. If you're going to eat those, you have to eat them in moderation and, you know, as little as possible. White foods such as potatoes, rice, white bread, sugar, flour, things like that. When you break that down, it turns into sugar, which increases your, you know, your blood sugar. So one patient would always tell me, oh, I never, you know, eat things that I shouldn't eat, and da-da-da-da-da. And he had cake on his table, and he lived alone, and half the cake was missing. So I asked him, I said, so if you're never eating anything that you're not supposed to eat, who ate the cake? And he just looked at me. And I told him, I said, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to make you feel bad about your life choices. What I'm here to do is to teach you how to manage it. If you want to eat a piece of cake, you can eat a piece of cake. You can't eat half the cake. You have to eat a small piece, and then you drink a lot of water. That helps you keep your blood sugar down. You get up and go for a walk. That helps you keep your blood sugar down. You make sure that you take your medication, you check your blood sugar, and then that's how you manage it. Just thinking, I'm feeling okay, therefore my diabetes is under control, is not true. And diabetes is causing people to go blind, have heart attacks, go on dialysis. It's causing us to get our toes amputated. It's causing to get legs amputated. Like, diabetes is really a serious disease that a lot of people need more knowledge about, and they need to take seriously, because it's more than sugar. It has so many complications. It has so many, diabetes is so serious, it has so many medications. That's how you know how serious a disease is. When you have different classes and different kinds, and everybody takes this and some people take that. Like with allergies, there's like 3 or 4 medications. With diabetes, I have lost count. There's so many classes of drugs. There's so many types. And the thing about medicine is it's a practice. That's why it's called a practice, because every body, literally every body, is different. What works for you might not work for this person, and it might work for that person. But what I have found is that when the patients are receptive and willing to work and are honest, that is the key. You have to be honest. If you're not exercising, if you're not taking your medication, if you're not following your diet, you need to let your doctor know, because that will change how he or she takes care of you. Because if you're not taking your medication, then I'm not going to keep going up on your medication. I'm going to educate you that you have to take this, because what's going to happen is one day you're going to decide to take your medication. Because I have patients that take a lot of insulin, and I got one patient that I remember a couple of years ago. She was taking like 80 units of insulin, and her blood sugar really wasn't that high. So I was questioning why she was taking so much. And she was like, oh, I take it every day, every day, every day, every day. And so I told her, like I have to tell, mostly it's the men that, are non-compliant. One day you're going to take this 80 if you don't take it every day, and you're not going to wake up. And so she admitted that she doesn't take it because she doesn't like to stick herself, which is understandable. But if she had told her primary care doctor that, then he could have added some oral medications or by mouth medications that could offset the insulin. Instead of going up and up and up on the insulin, he could have tried to change and work with different by mouth medications. So be honest with your doctor and be honest with yourselves, and know that if you have a mother, a father, a sister, a brother with diabetes, it is vital that you go every year and get tested. And I tell everyone, when you go and get tested, don't just take anyone's word as, oh, your labs are fine. Ask for a copy and then look at it, and then look it up, because everything's on the internet. You can look it up. You need to be looking at your hemoglobin, hematocrit, that lets you know if you're anemic. You need to be looking at your A1C, of course, that lets you know if you're diabetic. And then you have to look and see your kidney function. Ask questions, because on the labs, it'll have whether it's normal, it's high or low. And you can ask your doctor, well, you told me that this was normal, but this says this is low. What does that mean? And they should be able to explain that to you. If your doctor does not take the time to explain to you what your labs mean and how that affects your body, you have the wrong one. And I say this all the time, because I have patients that tell me that when they go to see their primary care doctor, and not all of them, I'm not bashing doctors, and it goes for nurse practitioners too. A lot of times it's hard for them to get an explanation of what's going on. And I tell them, if you don't have a provider that can explain to you your health, your medications, your labs, then you have the wrong one. Because that is part of what you're paying them for, is to take care of you, as well as to teach you about your body, about your health, because it's your life. Make sure that it's someone that does not mind teaching you what you need to know about your health. So that is pretty much all I have on diabetes. Before I leave today, good morning. Before I leave, I always try to leave you with a little motivation, a little push to the next week to keep you going.
Take it, just take it. Exactly.
I saw a post, I think it was yesterday, where this young lady said that she was not supporting any more Black-owned businesses because no one supports her. I have to tell you, when I saw that, I was a little upset, because I do have I am a Black business owner, but I understand. I understand where you're coming from. But I think what I want her and what I want other people to know, if you're going into business, you can't afford to be discouraged by people that don't support you. I tell you to find your strength in those that do. If it's one person, if it's two persons. If it's two people, then great. You need to kind of levitate toward them, because I have people that have been supporting me since day one. I have people who I have supported since day one, and I have shared their posts. I have told people about them, and then I will do something and I will tag them in it, and then they'll go in and remove the tag. Did I get upset? At first, yes. I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was livid. I would go in like, you're not gonna support me. I'm gonna take everything that I have you off. I'm not gonna support you. Now, I don't do that anymore, because it doesn't hurt me at all to support you, even though you don't support me. Am I gonna continue to do it? Absolutely not. But when you support somebody else, even if they're not supporting you, somebody else is watching you. Somebody else is seeing that part of you. Someone is noticing that you are genuine and you want to help other people. So don't stop helping or supporting other Black businesses because of a few rotten apples. And I'm going to tell you this, what I had to learn. When you support someone and they don't support you back, don't get upset. Thank God for showing you who they are in the beginning. Thank him for letting you know that this is not the type of company that you need when you're going forward in your business, and keep it moving. And I'm going to give you a hint of something that I figured out a while ago. If you go to support someone and you see that they're not supporting anybody else on their page, chances are they're not going to support you. That's just the way it is. So I would look for other business owners that are always supporting other people. Because if they're always supporting others, then chances are that they're a supporter. If you look on their page and all you see is their business, they're this, they're this, they're this, there's nothing else supporting anybody else, you can try, but chances are bad. And that's why I tell you that if you support someone and they don't support you, don't worry about it, because other people that support other people see you supporting them, and those are the ones that you want to support you, and those are the ones that will support you. So that is a message that I felt like I needed to tell everyone today. Don't be discouraged by those that don't support you. They don't matter.
And be encouraged to fight off all these demons and liars, witchcraft out here, honey.
At all. Somebody out there is watching you. Somebody out there is rooting for you, whether you see it or not. They might not ever hit like, they might not ever hit share, but they're watching. Those are the people that you do it for. You do it for your family members that don't have anybody else that they know that own a business. Those are the people that you do it for. Let the people that don't support others be in their own little world, because eventually they're going to fail. Because there is no way in the world that a business owner can make it without networking and supporting other people. If you don't believe me, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go, there's an app on my phone, because y'all know I'm cheap. I am the cheapest person you will ever meet. There's an app called Flip, F-L-I-P-P. And what Flip does is it shows you comparison of all the stores. You pick your favorite ones, and the weekly ads will come right there. And you can clip them right there. And one thing that I noticed is all of the stores will run ads on the exact same thing on the exact same week. If Kroger's is having a special on grapes, so is Albertsons, so is Walmart, so is Tom Thumb. Do you think that's a coincidence? No. They collaborate to keep the money where it's supposed to be. And that's the way successful businesses run. They collaborate and they work together. So if you are not supporting other businesses, I guarantee you there's going to come a time when you're going to need someone else and nobody's going to be there for you. Because I made a whole post about it the other week. Please don't ask me to support your business if you're not supporting anybody else's. And I do take into account if you support me like a day or two and then come and ask me to support you. If I go through your timeline and I see you not supporting anybody else, the messages that you send me, I don't even pay attention to them, because I only support people that support other people. And you want to be one that supports other people. So don't allow someone that doesn't know any better to block your blessing. And that's all I have for today. I hope you got some wisdom and some encouragement and some motivation from today's video. That is the reason why I do this. And I love sharing my information with you guys. And for those of you that are new here, please let me know where you're from and how I know you. And then I need you all to go over to my YouTube channel, Sequisa the NP, and subscribe if you have not subscribed already. And I really would appreciate it. I'm trying to get those numbers up, because I'm gonna tell you, I was in my feelings. I have 5,000 friends on here, but I only have 100 subscribers on YouTube. Maybe because I haven't put no videos up in like 4 weeks. That could be why. But I'm telling y'all, this editing is the devil. I'm not, I try to go in and, put the title and then, add a little humor, a little something, and then you end up deleting the clip, and then you can't get it back. So you got to start all over. Like, I got like 4 videos I got to edit and put them on there. And I got some recipes for my patients, they're on my weight loss program. I found some wonderful snacks that I will be adding pretty soon, and some naan bread that I found that I tried out, and it was pretty good. It has a few more calories than regular bread, but it has no carbs and it has no sugar, and it's a great substitute for bread, especially if you're diabetic. That's another one. And I also have some substitutes for like rice, and I've made some turnip fries, which I was surprised, but they turned out to be really good. So with that, I'm going to end my video, and I will see you guys same time, same place next week.